Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of themoviewizard.com, and we're going to be partially talking about the Muppets today, but mostly we'll be talking about the Cancel Bear. What is the Cancel Bear, you may ask? Well, the Cancel Bear is a section of TV by the Numbers. This is a website that tracks ratings and stuff. And what the Cancel Bear does, or what they say they do, is that they track numbers and they factor in other outside sources and they decide whether or not a show is going to get canceled or not. Now, keep in mind, this is their opinion. They don't actually factor whether the show gets canceled or not. They just predict it. And most of the time, they're pretty hit and miss. I mean, they've got this attitude going on that they are mostly right, but really, they're really right like 40 to 50% of the time if we're being completely honest with each other. And one of the reasons it's hard to take them seriously is that every year they seem to have one or two shows that they seem to be gunning for, and one or two shows they're gunning against. One of the shows that they are gunning against this year is The Muppets. When the first episode premiered, they had it on a 5 smiley face grade. What's 5 smiley lock? Well, 5 is you're a lock to be renewed. 4 is you're almost certain to be renewed. 3 is you're a toss-up. 2, you are likely to be canceled. 1 is you are certain to be canceled. And then there's canceled. They've also introduced a new category called Dead Show Walking, which is a show that's been canceled but is still on the air, which, in all fairness, that's actually pretty clever. So for the last several weeks, really more like a few months, the Cancel Bear has had the Muppets up for a toss-up to be renewed. This week, they have decided it is certain to be canceled. Now, the reason they might be saying that is because last week, the ratings for the show hit an all-time low. This week, the ratings did go up a little bit by a few 100,000 viewers, and for some reason now is when they're deciding they want to confirm that the show is likely to be canceled. Here's my problem. Looking at their own stats, I am not even remotely sure how they could have come to this conclusion. So what you are seeing here is a screenshot of the ABC network standings. As you can see, Wicked City and Blood and Oil have both been canceled. Gallivant is at the lowest of the low. That is certain to be canceled because their 18 to 49 rating is 0.64 and their renew cancel index numbers is 0.42. And by the way, I don't really have time to explain how these numbers work, but like most numbers, the higher they are, the better they are. By the way, I should note they had expected Gallivant to be canceled after one season, and the show got renewed, and I was pleasantly surprised at that, but who knows. After that, they've got Agent Carter as likely to be canceled at 0.87 and 0.57. Then they have Nashville, also likely to be canceled at a 1.03 and a 0.68. Then Castle is likely to be canceled at a 1.13 and a 0.74. The Muppets are likely to be canceled at a 1.47 and a 0.97. So the numbers are going up, and you'd think they would keep going up at this point. And that's where it gets really strange, because then we get to American Crime, and as you can see, that's got 3 faces on it. That means it's a toss-up. Their numbers is 1.0 and 0.66, much lower than the Muppets. Let's go to Dr. Ken, which is the first certain to be renewed things. And I should probably mention this. Whenever you see an O next to a title, that means it's an original content show. They are right in that original content shows tend to have a better shot at revival because of syndication. And if you see an F next to it, that doesn't mean fail, that means Friday, because Friday numbers are obviously going to be lower, so it's not whether or not Friday numbers are good, it's whether or not they're good for Friday. And the first one we have is Dr. Ken. Yes, that horrible show. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's bad. And they have it at a certain renewal with a 1.19 and a 0.78. That's lower than the Muppets. Again, though, it's a Friday. Last Man Standing, also certain to be renewed, 1.25 and 0.82. Again, the Muppets are higher in both these cases. However, that's a Friday show. Quantico, certain to be renewed. This is not a Friday show. Their numbers are 1.45, 0.95. The Muppets numbers are better than both of them. Not by a whole lot, but they are better. Fresh Off the Boat, certain to be renewed, 1.5, and 0.99. Let's see here. The Muppets are better in the 18 through 49 rating, but just a couple points shy of the Renew Cancel Index. So I guess that's a tie? Maybe? I don't know. Then you have Once Upon a Time. Certain to be renewed 1.57 and a 1.3. In this situation, the Muppets do lose some ground. Not by a whole lot, but a little bit of ground. But again, this is the certain to be renewed category, not the certain to be canceled. So it would make sense that both the numbers be higher than that. But then let's get to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a lock to get renewed. Their numbers are 1.43 and 0.94. The Muppets are better in both those numbers. How? Not by a whole lot, but let's stop and think about it. How can the Muppets numbers be better in both categories than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a lock for renewal, and the Muppets is likely to be canceled? Well, part of it might be because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does have that lucrative syndication deal that it's either hit or it's about to hit. If the show is like in its third or fourth season, it'll get renewed for one more season, guaranteed, just to hit the syndication package. Whatever that number is, you're guaranteed it if you've survived a few years. That might be why Bob's Burgers got a 2-season renewal this year, despite honestly kind of struggling in the ratings this whole time. Now, after that, the numbers just continue to go up. Now, when you look at all this, the question remains, what on earth makes the Muppets so certain for cancellation? Especially if the ratings went up and they acknowledge they went up. How can they be certain to be canceled when the ratings have gone up when they wrote this very chart? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the thing is, yes, the Muppets did hit an all-time low. Of course, unlike other shows that came back from their, winter break, as they call it, the Muppets was actually pulled from TV altogether for those, 6 or 7 weeks. So, of course, they're going to be at a disadvantage. And once people are aware that it's back, of course, they came back. And the ratings will most likely keep going up. Here's the other thing and this is a general problem, was the cancel bear. All the networks, they count TV ratings and DVR ratings. In fact, Fox has made the really bold move this year to not count the Nielsen ratings anymore because they realize they're fallible. They are so fallible. And you get a much better idea of what people are watching online, where every single view is tracked, unlike the Nielsen ratings, where certain people have Nielsen boxes, and it's largely a guess. Let's be honest, it's a guess on what people are watching. Want proof? Just ask Family Guy. The biggest thing the cancel bear seems to be going on is that, admittingly, the Muppets opened very, very strong. I think the first episode, it got like 9 million viewers, and the second episode, it got 6 million viewers. Right now, it's standing at 3 million viewers, so that's a pretty big drop. However, I believe some perspective is needed on why the numbers dropped so much for the second episode, and it could be one of two reasons, and we just don't know, because the number could have dropped for one of two reasons. Either the parents who watched the show with their family could have found the content in the first episode too risque. I highly doubt it, but there was that 1 million March thing, and families could have decided, nope, we don't want to get into this. The other reason is that because Franklin Graham and the 1 Million Moms boycotts were making big headlines, a lot of people probably tuned into the first episode of the Muppets expecting, as I've said before, the second coming of Family Guy. And once they saw how non-offensive the show really was, they decided not to come back a second time around. I mean, really, it could be a little bit of both. Who knows? The thing is, as we've looked at the ratings, yeah, they've gone down, but here's the thing, they don't go down that much. And then a couple weeks, they go up. So it's not like the show is flaming out in spectacular fashion. It's just evening out. I don't understand where the cancel bear is coming from. I just don't. I mean, I think every single time they will mention that premiere episode. I think most of us with 2 functioning brain cells know what happened there. As an added note, I do want to say that one of the things the cancel bear loves saying is that the trick is you don't have to outrun the bear, per se. You just have to be faster than the other guy who the bear is also chasing. In most of these cases, you can see the Muppets are outrunning the other guys, yet the other guys are considered much better locks for renewal than they are. I do not understand why. Maybe someone can explain it to me. I highly doubt it. So what do you folks think? Do these numbers make sense to you? I'd like to know. Comment below, and like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.